thank you guys for coming on today. For obviously the crowd as well for kind of tuning in and listening to this AMA. For those who don't know, I am the community manager over here at Arbitrum / Offchain Labs, and I'm joined today by the Juno team, co-founder Siddharth, as well as Zero X Dosa as well. If you guys want, maybe you can give like a kind of brief intro of like kind of like what you guys do at Juno real quick, and then maybe we can get into some of the cues.
Sure.
That's right. The phone you can yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, as you mentioned, I am one of the co-founders of Juno. I take care of operations, and we at Juno are obviously at the intersection of banking and crypto, and would love to tell you guys more about what we're doing and why we're building what we're building. Over to you. Uh, so
Part of the product team, ensuring that the product functions properly, users are able to kind of move funds, and the overall experience as well. So yeah.
Awesome. But by the way, I kind of like that product team, just making sure the product works. I like that. So I think then in that case, especially Sarah, since we have you on, I think it's appropriate to maybe kind of not only touch on what Juno is, but also maybe what kind of came you to founding the project in the first place.
sorry, I didn't get the last part. What is that?
Pretty much just what came to you like finding the project in the first place, like why do I make Juno?
Ah, awesome. Cool. Thanks for this question. And of course, this is one of the most interesting things that I've worked on in my life. But would love to just give a brief about this. So we basically are a very lean mean team. We are focused on being at the intersection of banking and crypto. What that really means is that while a lot of us are crypto native, we want to lead a crypto native life. We want to just deal with in crypto about it for doing anything, whether it be earning, spending, investing, or just hanging out with other crypto folks. We just want to do that all the time. But it's obviously not going to be possible. It's obviously not possible at this time and age that we are in, because hey, everyone got to pay their rent, they got to pay their utility bills, they got to do spends with their cards. Not everyone accepts crypto. So we have kind of just realized that this is an issue and this is something that would really delight the crypto native folks, and that's why we've built out our product offering at Juno, which really just sits at this intersection and helps crypto native users lead a crypto native life in this day and age. And we will just continue to do this, strive for making these experiences better until everyone, until the inevitable happens, right, where everyone is just dealing with in crypto and so on. But until then, we are definitely going to just keep on improving this experience, and that's what we're here for, that's what we're building the team for, and that's what we are striving for every day of our product of our company life.
Awesome, and yeah, definitely a great intro there. I think it's definitely an interesting topic, and again, I'm very glad that we're doing this AMA today, just because like for a while, like I mean, especially I think a lot more along like maybe a couple of years ago as well, just generally that like people kind of view like banking and crypto like complete opposites. But like I guess as time goes on, you're seeing a little bit of like a mix of both actually in a way coming up. I guess Juno being a pretty good example.
Exactly. I mean, we've had so many customers just, just frustrated at their banks because their banks have asked them to, I mean, their banks have frozen their bank accounts for just doing transactions in crypto. In fact, one of the biggest, so we were in the, we were writing a bunch of blogs at the beginning of our journey. And one of the blogs that was the most popular blog was titled "How to Close Your Chase Account." And it was really interesting and funny that this is what our blog hit our product market fit with. But yeah, that's something that we understand the pain that users go through, and hence we're here.
So in that case, I think it's probably appropriate then to ask, like, how does Juno then differ from let's say a regular bank like a Chase, or even what some call like neobanks?
Yeah, Som, you want to take that up?
Sure. From a structural standpoint, right? I think it's pretty much similar to any other bank, right? Like the banking part of it is like any other bank. It has exactly pretty much the same services, or like support for uh, ACH. Have comes with the debit card, and has its own. Every user get their own unique account number, routing number, where they can actually take their salaries and so on, right? Like now the beautiful piece is now this layer of checking account uh, directly connects with a wallet, right? Like a crypto wallet, BTC, ETH, L2s and so on, right? And that helps us kind of move, or like helps the users to kind of move funds freely between the two. It takes about like 3 or 4 seconds to kind of take my ETH, which is sitting in like my Juno wallet, back to my account, and bring it, or buy it back again, right? Like so it's super quick. We users have to like kind of they can skip a lot of steps, right? Like to illustrate, if I want to go buy crypto today and I have like $10,000 in my Chase account, I have to now move that into a Binance or Coinbase or any other like large exchange now, and then place an order, and probably like for the funds to clear, it would take like 2 to 3 days, because it's a large amount. You would ACH it, otherwise you will lose a lot of money on fees as well, right? Like we take all this away, and make it super simple. Keep whatever you want to kind of play around or buy crypto within the Juno checking account. Tap tap a button, get crypto, take it out to your MetaMask, right? That's how simple it is. And not just MetaMask. Like I mean, we are kind of like a bridge, or a gateway for most natives, and or folks who are looking to get into crypto, to kind of buy and take it out to their wallets, right? Like that's where we kind of sit in. And since all this is sitting in the same layer, it makes it easy for us to kind of like do settlements and get it back. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I'd like to add, we have basically, yeah, apart from what Son said, we are thinking of each and every banking product, just rethinking each and every banking product as to how it will look in the crypto native person's life, or how it should really ideally be. Like for example, when you're actually just using a card, you don't want to. I mean, you would want to spend your crypto instead of just spending your USD. That's just one example. When you're earning your paycheck, when you're getting a paycheck, you want that paycheck to auto convert into crypto, or just get your paycheck in crypto, in your bank directly. And these are certain things that we've just gone back, and suppose you want to like transfer funds to your family who's living abroad for some reason, and you need to convert funds. So we've also integrated with one of the banking rails partner, which is called TransferWise. While we do the USD to Bitcoin to USD conversion, the USD automatically gets converted into any other currency via this program, and it gets transferred. Basically, just rethinking each and every product as to how it would be ideal to have in the crypto native world, and then trying to do the best that we can do over there.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think it's also oh, sorry, Dosa, were you going to say anything? Yes, no, I think maybe okay. I'll go just in case. um, no, yeah, no, and I think it's very interesting, and I think from like a so again, I've said it before, but me being a community manager and kind of thinking like the whole like marketing route, like do you think it makes sense to like target like a very specific audience? Like is it targeting like the very very crypto native people that like probably already have a bank or definitely already in the crypto, but like they want to like do what they can to like separate themselves from that central entity as much as possible? Or maybe is it just people who haven't even dove into crypto yet, and almost pretty much provide Juno as like not only a bank but also like itself as an on ramp into the crypto space?
This is actually one of the most important questions, and we have kind of answered this for ourselves. And the answer is that we are actually, the answer is both, and one of them as well. And I'll tell you how. So basically, right now, because we understand that the immediate problem of crypto natives is to is to actually lead the crypto native life along with their bank account, and hence and we are one of the providers. In fact, we are one of the best providers out there, according to us. And hence we want to just solve for the crypto natives at this point in time, because we know the market is huge and we know that the problem is great and it's immense, and we are the ones who are able to solve them for the crypto native folks. Whereas, say 2 years down the line, when we've kind of addressed most of these issues for most of these people, that's when we actually would like to open it up to more and more folks, and try to target them more, who have never even invested into crypto. But as of now, the people who do not know about crypto, we're leaving that out to other folks to educate them. But in the future, we'll definitely have a change of heart over there.
Awesome, yeah, and again, it's stuff like this I think that really gets me excited, about the space because, like, you know, I think every cycle, let's call it, like we have these like new types of products coming out, whether they're completely on chain or partially on chain, and I feel like it completely changes how the space thinks about just crypto generally, and the potential adoption of it, and like what effect it may have on like the real world versus kind of like this bubble that we live in, I guess, in crypto Twitter. So in that case, kind of following up on something I mentioned a little while ago, is obviously in a space that's considered like as anti-establishment, as crypto is, like what's your kind of stance on like the whole like getting rid of these centralized authorities is essentially that kind of are like the gatekeepers between on-ramping people from their USD into crypto. Like, what's your stance on that?
So this is actually a very interesting question, and the stance is obviously, I think what the government is doing is obviously in the best interest of the people, and in the best interest of what really makes sense economically as well as kind of philosophically. And if they are, hey, talking about, hey, we need to add KYC, we need to add KYC for certain types of apps and dApps and various different exchanges. Of course, some people, sometimes they're just going overboard on that. But I believe that just at the point of intersection between crypto and fiat, uh, doing the right KYC and EML checks uh, kind of makes sense, to just to make sure that there is sanity in the space, because just as an industry overall, if at all we are just going to leave the space unregulated, what is really going to happen is that there are going to be more and more scams that are going to exist in the market, and people are eventually going to lose faith in the whole industry. So just given the fact that we are thinking in the right terms, in the right ways, the government, uh, the government is actually discussing this in the right forums, I think is the right step in general. Of course, we need more minds, more experts who are crypto natives over there as well. And I think we are getting representation over there. So, just given the fact that we want more and more users to on ramp into crypto and especially into L2s, and what Arbitrum is doing is something which is phenomenal, with the whole Arbitrum 1 and Arbitrum Nova coming in the space, just to get more people involved in this ecosystem, we definitely require a lot more legitimacy of the space, which this movement of regulating crypto, regulating the space is giving. And we, of course, with all this also comes, a lot more seasoned players to come in this place, a lot more interesting, innovative players to come in this place and focus on how to make this whole experience of on ramping into crypto, into L2s, much more seamless, while making it much more secure as well. So I believe this is the right step in the right direction, and just getting more seamlessness and legitimacy to this space is super critical.
Hey, hey, hey. Am I audible?
Yep, yep.
Hey, 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 everyone. I just want to add something on what Siddharth has spoken. By the way, this is Pratik from the Juno team. Just to answer that question also, Hunter, I don't think we'll move directly from like a a centralized world with establishments to directly to an anti-establishment in like in one day, right? It's going to be a process, and I think that's where the transition is going to happen, right? From CFI to like CDFI to pure DeFi, right? That's the end goal. It will always be like pure DeFi. Like the protocols are already decentralized, but we also have decentralized front ends. But until that time, I think there's going to be a good transition of 5 years where CD5 will really be the mainstream. And by CD5, I mean not the Celsius to Voyages kind of CD5, where it's a black box, but it's more like a bankless mullet thing, right? Where you have like a fintech in the front end, but a DeFi protocol on the back end. I think that's what's going to like dominate in the next 5 years. And then maybe I don't know, in 5 years or 10 years, when there's enough mainstream adoption, then I think we can go to the utopia world of complete decentralization.
Welcome on, Shamu, by the way. Yes, no, totally, totally agree. I mean, I think I think it's definitely a very touchy question, which is why. By the way, I appreciate you guys answering it, because like there's I feel like just how there is in life. I think that there always tends to be like polarizing sides to this conversation about like should there be any regulation in the industry, should there not be, and if there is, to what extent can there be, while also still not allowing them to potentially encroach on in the future on our rights or our money or whatever it is, right? So yeah, no, I think that, and that's why I think like products like Juno are really interesting, because again, like you guys kind of make that compromise between the two, kind of adding benefits from both in a way. And I think on that point, something you just mentioned that was part of my next question is Juno's stance on layer twos. So if anyone in the crowd has used Juno before, it's no surprise that like you guys have been pushing pretty hard, it's very specifically actually, on connections with layer two networks. Again, Arbitrum, of course, being one of them. Is there a reason for that, or like what was the thought process behind doing that?
Swam or Pradeep, you
Yeah,
want to take that?
yeah. I think I mean, I'll add a little bit of light on how we are thinking through our like strategy and thought process for adding L2s, right? Like while while we were working with like ETH last year, the gas prices kind of shot up. Like right now we are doing fine, but this was like a lingering thought since then, right? Like, hey, how do we kind of ensure like we can move, right? That's the kind of that's a time where a lot of us within the team also started experiencing L2s and enjoyed the whole reaps of using Polygon USDC, right? That's what we kind of started off with. But once we added Polygon USDC, we saw that it's being picked up by our folks, even the folks like who are taking their paychecks in Polygon USDC and kind of want to even spend with the Polygon USDC itself, right? We are looking at like ourselves as I mentioned, like we are the bridge, we are like a one tap, seamless, easiest way to kind of go from your bank account to L2, right? And once a user gets there in L2, the world is open. Uh, Cost like goes out of the picture. Users can kind of do anything that they want there, like play with, uh, you know, app like games. Like strats, like balance of multiple. The world opens up, once you move to L2, and the power was like first hand experience by us when we kind of like did the whole move towards Polygon USDC, and also experienced the issues and the kind of friction that any sort of bridge poses today, right? The amount of time it takes and the cost it takes to go uh, from a L1 into an L2, or like especially like going from E to Arbitrum at the time, and those sort of things helped us like kind of, hey, this needs to be solved today. Let's run with it, and the kind of pace at which we've been launching pretty much all chains, like is a testament to like what we believe and where we kind of stand in the space, right? We in the last 2 to 3 months we kind of launched first with Arbitrum, and then we added the other chains, right? Like Optimism, then Solana, like two top coins, USDC and ETH. It's available to move across all chains, right? And soon we are adding an off ramp, right? Like this is something that keeps coming up from our community. Like every Arbitrum, I think there's also like there in our, if you go read some of the tweets of the Spaces tweet, right? Like it says, hey, we need off ramp, right? Like can we get our Arbitrum USDC or ETH into Juno and like cash out, right? Like that's our top prio as well for the next few months, right? So getting that up and running and ensuring that this there's a two-way bridge between the two, between like the bring a bank account and going taking that directly to like Arbitrum is the magic.
And on that note, is there like any I guess you should say like so obviously like part of the experience is of course onboarding people to these networks, but like I feel like maybe like another piece of the puzzle may be like directly integrating, for example, like DeFi applications like within the interface, like maybe like being able to use like a GMX to go leverage long or shorter, for example, or a DopeX to like take out some options right within the Juno interface.
Yeah, two folds, right? Like one is we would love to integrate once we have a decentralized wallet structure within our own product, right? Like we can directly embed these apps as like a category, like let's say the financial categories, right? Like GMX and dope especially. For us, like another area that's super interesting is like how do we get integrated within the GMX and dopex apps, right? Like we know that we are one of the best on ramp solutions out there, ensuring that our we have a lightweight tool that helps folks to kind of quickly like get their USDC or ETH straight to Arbitrum. And for that, I think we do like want to touch upon this particular lightweight on ramp product that we've come up with, which is called Juno Pay. That helps like some of these apps directly integrate us with a single line of code, and and then rest is like for the users, either they can use the Onjuno balance or they can use actually Cash App and Venmo, which is pretty unique, to kind of take their funds from their Cash App Venmo accounts or Juno account to GMX directly, GMX, DopeX, and the other upcoming DeFi apps within Arbitrum.
Yeah, Hunter. I mean, you brought like a really good point over there, right? I think that's where the future is heading towards, right? Hey, if you can not only just on ramp to Arbitrum, but imagine doing like a chain transaction where, like a multi-step transaction where you can not only buy but buy and stake in like GMX, GLP, right? Like in one step itself directly from your bank account. That's where we are heading towards. Also, I think within the next 6 to 12 months, that will be a reality. So, and I'm pretty sure I think that's where the entire industry is heading towards. So that's something what will be making the entire like Web3 ecosystem like much more accessible to the crypto normally. So yeah, excited to just chat that part out.
And we've seen a couple of other like wallets successfully do this, like abstract out the whole first bridge between these two layers, and then like doing a certain set of actions, right? Like Argent with just like the invest panel has kind of managed to have some set of apps that can be used pretty quickly. It's super nifty. All these native interfaces that we can build within Juno will be kind of super helpful to increase adoption across the chains and their native and their apps. Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more, and I think that like at least I was thinking about this the other day actually personally, but like I truly feel like in the future the majority of all like the of all these like different complex things where it's like like you have to onboard yourself onto a bank, get a wallet, then go to a different website to use a different app, then go to another website to use like something else, or maybe even go to a bridge if you want to go to another network. I feel like all that stuff like in the future, like given that we're in like a perfect scenario where UI is finally caught up to like the code, like I feel like a lot of things are going to be hosted like at a wallet level, where it's like if you want to switch networks, instead of coming to the Arbitrum bridge page, you should be able to do it more or less in just like a click on your wallet, for example. Or, yeah, if you want to go leverage long or short of something, like, you'll be able to do that straight from your wallet or something. I don't know. But I do feel like wallets will play an even bigger role, like moving forward with this industry, just because I think the way it is currently, it's just like it's like, we're able to do it because we're in this space, right? Like all of us in this Twitter spaces right now, I'm sure like we've all interacted with the DApp before, and in this case, used Juno before. Like in a way, like we're definitely early for like from the perspective of like we know how to like kind of maneuver online and do these different things. But like if you talk to a normal person about this stuff, like they truly have no idea. I mean, like I'm sure you guys know, they truly have no idea.
Totally. Totally. In fact, I was actually surprised that a lot of the crypto native folks themselves had such a tough time just on ramping into any L2 for that matter. And in fact, even I myself had like a tough time, just maneuvering with all the native tokens that you had to support for, that you had to add for, supporting a transfer of, say, USDC on Polygon, and then actually buying USDC via a bridge. First, just getting your USD from your checking account into uh, Ethereum or some currency that a centralized exchange supports. It was just a nightmare. I mean, and I'm sure it continues to be a nightmare for a bunch of even crypto native folks. Uh, and that was one of the most interesting things that we've come to realize.
No,
The use case that we're trying to solve for as well. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
no, go for it. I was just gonna agree. Go for
Yeah.
it. So I think then moving on from the DeFi perspective, what about NFTs? Does Juno currently have NFT support? And if not, like, is there like a plan for it, and maybe like your strategy behind doing so?
So, go ahead. Go ahead, Pratik.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think if like the DeFi and NFT piece go together, because if you launch a, let's say, a Web3 wallet inside Juno itself, right, you'll be able to do both of them, right? But this is a very interesting question. Of course, we will definitely have support for NFTs right inside Juno itself. But the like a more interesting question over here will it be a custodial approach or will it be a non-custodial approach? Uh, and that's something that will be very interesting to see in the market, how others implement it. I think in some different chains, there's already been like a very big take of custodial services of NFTs, which again, on a personal level, or I mean, in like an industry level, at least from a DeFi perspective, we don't want like everyone to have a custodial solution only. So I think that's where we will be differentiating ourselves among other folks, where we would not only just have a NFT support for inside Juno, but we want to make sure that it's a non-custodial service, that you have always the control over of your NFT, and we don't just hold it, and we can't hold hostage of your NFT basically. Yeah.
Sorry, Tracker, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Very good, very good. I think you're cutting off a little bit there, Chomu, but so the understanding is that you guys are looking to add it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
just to summarize, we are looking to add it on, and what Pratik was mentioning, that we just want to make sure that we are approaching it in the right way. We don't want to just have a centralized wallet where you store your NFTs, but you're at the mercy of a centralized organization like Juno, uh, to custody it. But instead, we are looking at more innovative ways, which are going to be even regulatorily friendly, uh, but at the same time also give users the custody of anything that sits in those wallets, whether be it NFT or be it any other crypto asset.
Got you. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly there. Yeah, no, and you know what? I think, and I truly think that's the way the industry really should approach things, like especially as important. I mean, at this point, as NFTs, right? Because I'm sure it could have been very easy for you guys to just integrate it right away and use that as like a selling point. Like, hey guys, like we have NFTs on Juno already. Feel free to use them whenever you want, and kind of go that way, and like do like I guess like you could say like the businessy route of things. But instead, I love that you guys are taking the approach of if we're going to do this, let's do it right, like straight from the start, so that people who are maybe storing their NFTs, like maybe they're Bored Apes or whatever it is, that they're safe from a perspective of they actually are still able to own the NFT even though it is on the platform. So I totally agree with that approach.
Yep. Thanks. In fact,
Yeah.
this is one of the things that we've learned over the last few years of our entrepreneurial journey as well. Just given the fact that we have been in the DeFi space before we started this journey of Juno, we were in the DeFi space. We had a DeFi app called Nuo.network, which we just have been out there in the space for a while to understand the vibe, to understand why users are there in this particular space, what really motivates them, what are their issues, what are their problems. And now that we have also have an understanding of the whole fintech space, the traditional fintech space, I mean, it just gives us, kind of an unfair advantage to sit at this position and build products out there for people who we understand to a different level. In fact, we have been those people for all along.
And it's
No,
just funny,
totally.
right? Like the pressure is all on us, like the our actions, like Arbitrum's actions, Juno's actions, and like all the other big players, right? I mean, if that's going to be like relevant for the next 5, 10, 15 years, if we go on to like centralized solutions only, right? Then it's just like Web 2 with a twist. And I love it that like everyone is synced over here. That hey, like we have to move with the Web 3 ethos in mind.
100% agreed. And it's honestly that perspective that I think is what projects need to be around long term. Just keeping that ethos in mind with the way they're moving. And I feel like it's the kind of thing where it's like and plenty of, I mean, I guess technically all of our projects are, in a way, are companies are startups to a certain extent. So I feel like sometimes it's hard to kind of keep sight of that when you're constantly growing and expanding. But I think just keeping that in check is always just the most important thing as we just keep growing as an industry and as individual companies. So I think on that point, then maybe it's just worth just generally asking. So, like, what other products does Juno offer? So, as far as I'm concerned, you have the banking app, you have the pay app. Maybe like, are there any other things that you guys offer, or like maybe like quick differences between the two, just in case people aren't too aware?
Yeah, I can take that up. Am I audible still, Hunter?
Sorry, what was that? You're cutting out there.
Am I audible? I think there's some internet issues in my place. Sid or Swamp, you want to take this up?
Hey, Hunter. So yeah, we have the checking product that allows you to kind of deposit, issue checks, like have the USD piece of it. Then you have the Juno Pay, which is like the intersection between your payments and and crypto, right? Like USD, USDC. We manage the payments piece. User selects, like hey, what they want to spend and what they want to get rewarded on, and we manage the rest, right? And then we have the whole the on ramp, or like crypto buy and sell piece, where like you have a bunch of tokens, BDC, ETH, USDC on uh, Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, all the chains that we have, and take it out instantly. But the most critical, the piece here as well, like for us, is the crypto paycheck, right? Like where you not just like take either in USD or one coin. We allow you to kind of split. Let's say you have $1,000 coming in, you can actually allocate $800, because like, hey, my landlord still takes USD, right? Like I'm going to pay $800 in USD. That's taken care of. So let me just like have $100, or $100 in BTC, $100 in ETH, and send that across directly into my my own self custodied wallets, right? Without having to touch the app every 15th, every end of month. This happens automated. You don't even have to contact your, like your payroll provider, or your like your accounts, accounting manager or HR within the team. All this can be powered within our product itself, right? Like uh, and like everything compliant. We issue the help with uh, you know filing taxes at the end of year. So it's like a complete lifestyle product that helps you like live your like life in crypto, right? That's what we've kind of gone for. And future few things that are coming up are like bill pays and using crypto, and a bunch of like interesting things around like off ramp from any place into your USD directly as well.
Awesome, awesome. In that case, then I guess the second to last question I guess I'll ask that I'm sure is an obvious one for everybody is what is Juno coin? I think I saw it on the website somewhere, but I wanted to wait here to ask you about it.
Yeah, I mean, some alpha. I won't say much. Yeah, this is just jumping straight in, right? Like, so it's gonna be the first tokenized like rewards program, within a crypto banking product, right? Like, we are trying to kind of build the American Express equivalent of their points on chain, which can be like kind of used to do a bunch of actions within the platform, outside of platform, like bunch of rewards that's gonna come up with, right? Like you earn for some really core actions, like within Juno. Like let's say you take your paycheck, you spend on cards, right? The regular like reward earning mechanisms would be there, along with like some of the like non-regular like quests and things around that, where you could keep earning like a lot of like Juno coins. You could go spend on like trading fee. Let's say you want to buy. We kind of like has, hey, pro self custody, like, hey, let me redeem it for a ledger, right? And let me kind of maybe like redeem it for a higher interest, a higher bonus rate within my checking account, right? Like currently we offer 2.15%. I want to bump it up to 2.5% or 3% within like my USD account. I would be able to do all of those actions with Juno coin, right? That's how much I can reveal at this point. It's a lot. Rest of it, we have a great plan this month to kind of like schedule in place. Watch out for our blog, for our in our Discord channel as well, like as we kind of go out and put out more details about Juno coin itself, right? Like, but it's going to be like the most integral piece uh, about like within the platform, on how users are going to be operating uh, pretty much all their like daily actions, right? Like payments, earning, everything is going to be like now giving Juno coins back to the users, and they can go and take it out and use it within or outside of the platform.
Yeah, I would just like to conclude it with two things. I mean, summarize this what Som said in two things. A, we're trying to build the first community-led neobank in the world, and B, the more you use Juno right now, uh, mostly the more you would be rewarded with Juno coins in the near future.
Oh wow! So no, that's pretty insane, and it's funny because in a way, I feel like the most obvious use case for crypto is like, or tokens in general, I guess, are like like rewards programs. You know what I mean? It's like bolster existing projects, and also, as you mentioned, from a community perspective, just make it like community owned from that regard.
Yeah, that's a
Absolutely. Wasn't
critical.
this, yeah, wasn't
Yeah,
this
that's
the
a critical.
reason why crypto even existed in the first place?
Exactly, that's a critical piece to our even the design of the program, right? Like pretty much whatever kind of informed in terms of little bit of the utility actually has come back directly from the community, right? What they want, and we're just like powering it through like the coin, and like giving back to the community for being like, you know, being great participants within the program itself.
Okay, and just don't quote me anyone on this. Uh, if you're an Arbitrum user, if you've been using Arbitrum heavily, you might also get J coins, yeah, on your wallet. So
Upon
Damn.
opening a Juno account.
Re-alpha. Awesome. So then in that case, before we go to questions, is there anything else you want to add on to just generally like your roadmap going forward? I know you mentioned a couple things, so if you already mentioned all of them, then we can just go to questions. But yeah, is there anything else on the Juno roadmap?
So I think the most important thing is definitely the Juno coins. That's something that we're gonna, announce more details on in the next coming weeks. So definitely do be on the lookout for our tweets on Twitter and our channel on Discord. There's obviously going to be a lot more alpha coming out than what Pratik and Form just mentioned. It's going to be much more out there. You guys going to have many more chances to, you know, uh, get really handsomely rewarded in various forms and whatnot, because we have a lot of giveaways planned, a lot of engagement activities planned throughout the next few weeks. So yeah, just be on the lookout, and let's go LFG.
Awesome, awesome. So in that case, yeah, if there's anyone in the audience who has any questions for the Juno team, feel free to raise your hand, or also take a look at the chat actually, because I think some people might have left something. But yeah, any questions? Feel free to raise your hand. Plan is to go until the top of the hour, just to be mindful of everyone's time here. So yeah. Someone in the chat said this isn't the real Juno. I don't know about that.
it would have been a fun 45 minutes if we win the real Juno this time.
What was that, Chomo?
I don't know what is real then if that is not real. But yeah, uh, any other questions? Love to answer.
We'll give it another, half a minute or so, just in case. While we wait. If there are no more, if anyone does have any questions, and I guess generally just wants to join the Juno community, where would they go ahead and do that?
Just go to juno.finance. Join us on Twitter at Juno Finance. Obviously, it's linked over here, Juno Finance HQ. Or join us in Discord, where we have a bunch of interesting folks, who help each other out. And just sign up and start start bridging into Arbitrum much more easily than what you ever have experienced in your life.
That is the best pitch I've ever heard in my life. I love that. Oh man! All right, great. In that case, I guess we can probably end it off here. For those who did join later on, this is recorded, so as soon as we end it, you'll be able to kind of scrub through it, and we'll also make sure to put the recording up on YouTube as well for your viewing pleasure. But yeah, Siddharth, Dosa, Chuma, I don't know where you went. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate you kind of giving us, pretty much answering all our questions. And yeah.
Thanks, Hunter. Thanks for the, great 45-minute, helping us like just have this time explain our product and what we kind of stand for, and how we kind of can help Arbitrum and other communities as well. Yeah, thanks.
100%. Thank you guys for coming on today. And thank you all in the audience for listening. Adios, y'all.
All right, thanks. Bye bye.